again welcome you to, we call this Road to WCS Moroccan Qualifiers 2025. It's a series of interviews that we're doing with amazing, talented cosplayers around the world who's obviously had experience with WCS and participated to a lot of qualifiers and events that have relation with WCS. I will start by asking you to present yourselves and talk about your achievements, qualifications, maybe your specialities in terms of cosplays and the things you need to know. Obviously, we'll have your socials at the same time with this video, and obviously we'll have videos of your cosplays and pictures of your cosplays at the same time of the video, so that Moroccan people will know you more and they will add you on their socials, follow you. So, ladies first.
Okay. Hi, I'm NYMESIA, Portuguese. I have been cosplaying since 2019, and I started participating in competitions in 2022. Actually, my bad, 2021. December 2021 was my first competition. Then in 2022, I won my first preliminary to compete in Monaco. In 2023, in February, which I went as Alex Straza from World of Warcraft. It was really fun. It was my first international experience, and Syn3rgie went with me as my helper. Then I'm trying to figure out like the whole timeline. Then on that same year, we participated in the ICL preliminaries, which we won together. And we also participated in other preliminaries such as ECG and WCS for that year, but we did not get first prize on that year. We got second. So we only won first prize in ICL that year. So we went to ICL in 2023. And in 2023, we also got invited to participate in Gamers 8 in Saudi Arabia. So in 2023, we were very lucky to go to Madrid and Saudi Arabia. And then on that year, we participated for the preliminaries for WCS 2024, and we won. So we went. Yes, we went in 2023, we participated in WCS preliminaries for 2024, and we went to Japan in 2024. There we go. I personally specialize mostly definitely in video game characters. I first started when I started doing cosplay. I was doing a lot of Disney characters too, but I just didn't feel myself like 100% in them. Yes, like I do like to sew like a ball gown here and there, but I definitely do prefer video game characters because I do play a lot of video games. That's something that's been going with me throughout my entire childhood and teenagehood and now adulthood. And I love to do props, big props and armor. That is definitely my favorite thing. I don't like wig styling all that much, and sewing I'm getting better at it, but I do find it a little bit difficult. And wig styling, I don't like to do it, but I love to see like the finished results of people. Like I really do admire wig makers so much. And I hope to become better at that one day, and definitely want to practice my skills on that, but definitely armor and props. Yes.
Thank you very much. That was really detailed and really clear. After you.
So I'm Syn3rgie. I met cosplay through NYMESIA. She started doing Captain Amari for Comic-Con in the UK.
London, yeah, I went to that one too.
She was doing it as a hobby project.
It was like my first cosplay ever.
Because fun detail, we met through Overwatch, the video game, in 2016.
Oh, the time when Overwatch was a better game.
Yes.
Honestly, that still makes me so sad up to this day. Like, I wish it was a good game.
Oh yes, don't worry. We're always everyone is thinking the same.
Let's not talk about it.
Yes. Let's not talk about
Overwatch. We'll
Overwatch.
be crying here.
Yes.
So she was doing this Captain Amari project as a hobby. It was her first, I think, your first cosplay?
Yeah, it was my first cosplay.
Your first cosplay. And we would play together almost every day. I was in Portugal, she was studying in the UK, and we were, I would say, online buddies. Because we would play together. I would come from work at the end of the day, and she would be at home, and we would be like, "Hey, you want to play a game together? Yeah, let's go." And then we would turn on our mics and play together via chat, and like you do with your friends. And eventually she started making her cosplay and she started sharing. So in a way, I was seeing her progressing and doing her cosplay. And then that's how I met cosplay, and I was like, this looks fun. Maybe one day we could do something together. Maybe you could help me do Soldier 76. That never came to happen. Eventually she came to Portugal, and we started dating a few years later. Like, I think it was in 2019 that we started.
No, I started in 2020.
2020, okay.
He doesn't even know.
And
I'm joking. But yeah, you're saying.
So in 2020 we started dating. We kind of never saw it coming, but in a way, if we look back, we kind of saw it coming. So we started dating, and that's when we decided to do a cosplay project together. And we made our first armor cosplay together, and also my first cosplay ever, which was a Monster Hunter cosplay, Odogaran armor. And we participated with that cosplay for our first time. We got second place.
Yeah, for ECG.
For ECG preliminaries here in Portugal. So she came to me and she was like, your dream travel location is Japan, right? And I'm like, yes, so is mine. And I'm like, okay, what do you mean? Oh, because there's this competition, and if you win, you get to travel to Japan, and the traveling costs are paid for, And I'm like, okay, what's the catch? And she's like, you only have to make a costume.
That's all.
Only.
You only
Only.
you only have to make a costume.
Right?
Easy. And I'm like, okay, what do you mean you only have to make a costume? Oh, you only have to make a cosplay and a skate on stage, and if you win, you go to Japan. And I'm like, okay, fine, let's try. And so because we got second place, we never expected to get second place on our first try. So because we got second place, we got so excited that we were like, oh, this is actually possible. So we kept on trying and trying and trying. And we got a few more second places, and then
another competition,
and a few other preliminaries, and then we made Blythe and Rani from Elden Ring, and that's when we got our first place to go to ICL in Madrid.
Yeah.
And then in ICL we got third place with another Monster Hunter cosplay. This was a different armor.
Yeah.
I was as a hunter, and she was as the quest giver. It was a funny cosplay, a funny duo skit, so it was funny. And then, before that, we went to Saudi Arabia, as you know, as
Yes.
Vlad and Rani as
Exhibition. Yeah.
exhibition, exactly. We got best
costume,
costume.
which was like the most surreal thing to ever happen.
We had
ever.
no idea we were going to get a prize. I mean, we were like I believe everyone that participates in a competition always has that tiny little hope that they will get something.
Which is perfectly normal.
Which is
because,
normal,
that's why
right?
you go to competition.
Yes, of
So
course.
you're like, oh, I hope I win something. I hope I win something.
But you never actually, like in the middle of 45 countries, think, oh yeah, definitely definitely not. Like
Maybe because it was 2 days of skit and competition, right? Usually it's only one day where people go on stage and do their things, and then on the
it is. It was 2 days.
2 days. But usually it's mostly 1 day of competition, and you know who the winners are or not. And so on our first day, we were like, oh, the competition is really heavy. And then, but we decided, but let's still give our best anyway.
Yeah.
So on the second day, we did our best, and then we were on stage waiting to see who was going to get a prize. And then first country to receive a prize was Portugal, us. And we
Amazing.
were like, what? No way.
We have a friend of ours that has an album of photos in his phone, which are like screenshots of specifically my face when receiving prizes, because I don't believe it any time that happens. They call like Portugal, and I'm like, what? Like,
She
you're
gets-
kidding, right? Like, that can't be.
She gets so surprised every time. She's like,
there's like, no, but like you don't imagine, like, just my eyes just like open so much, and
she's like, oh,
You know,
What?
like, so there's, a friend of ours has a screenshot of my faces when receiving prizes because he always gets stupidly surprised.
She
every
has meme
single
face all
time.
over.
Yeah.
You were talking about
Cool.
knowing what's bad and what's wrong. We really want them to be like to know what they did wrong, and that's my next question to you, Syn3rgie, and obviously NYMESIA. Your experience in WCS exhibition and WCS Japan. If you can summarize the experience, was it hard? Was it worth it? The bad, the good, and the ugly?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You want to start?
I can start, yeah.
Okay.
We already had our costumes completed.
Made, yeah.
So we didn't have, so we just had to be like, yeah, sure, we'll go. We already have the costume. We'll use it. You will use it again. We asked, okay, this costume already won
Second place.
First.
You won, for the preliminaries ICL. Yeah, you
This
were
one
running
already
it.
won a first place on a preliminary. Can we use it anyways?
Yeah, it was.
And they said yes, it's fine. So we were like, okay, we don't need to build a new costume. We can use this one. We're gonna use this one. We improved our skit, which is not a really good skit at the time. It was one of our weaknesses, and still kind of is one of our weaknesses. The skits.
Yeah.
We're trying to get better and better at skits now. It's one of our focus for the future. But yeah. So we
had the costume done.
We had the costume
so
done,
we did
so
not have that pressure of
did-
like, oh god, I have to finish a costume in like 2 months, you know, like.
So we
no.
were really able to enjoy
100%.
the Gamers 8 and the experience. We were really able to enjoy it 100% without most of the pressure. We were able to talk to people, make friends, see what they were doing, talk to them about their costumes and their techniques, help people backstage.
Do all that.
Amazing.
Prepare ourselves.
Amazing.
Yeah, because the prejudging. I think it had 2 days of prejudging, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
because there was so many people. So it was half people were on one day and the other half were on the other day. But on the second day was already the first day of the competition.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we had our costume 2 times. One for the prejudging, and then because we were on the second day of competition, 1 day later, like not the day after, but the day after that, for the
Okay.
competition. Yeah, we had to dress the costume 2 times, when normally you just dress it once, you go to the prejudging, and then you go straight to competition. Like
stage.
at least in the preliminary how it works. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But at WCS Japan, that does not happen as well. You have prejudging days before that, and then you have to dress the costume again for the final competition. So that is a little bit tiring, but it was fine. But again, like because we were done with our costumes, we were kind of.
So yeah, we had a lot of freedom in Gamers 8 in that regard because we already had our costumes made.
So
we saw other people who were still kind of rushing a few parts that they didn't finish yet, or that they were, I don't know, they were preoccupied with other things. We were mostly focused on practicing our skit.
Oh yeah.
So backstage we were almost every day practicing our skit for a few hours, but then the rest of the day we were completely chill and able to talk to people. So that was a great experience in that regard. If I compare it to Japan, WCS Japan, we finished our costume only 5 minutes before we left to grab the
wow.
For the airport.
And it's because we decided to make an entire new costume with a new technique that we had never tried before, silicone. It was a completely made out of silicone costume of Yoshimitsu from Tekken 6.
Tekken 7.
Sorry, Tekken 7. Is it Tekken 7?
It's Tekken 7.
Which is the squid version of Yoshimitsu, the one with the tentacles.
Yeah, he looks like a little squid. Yes. Like, it's really fun.
Man, it was so complicated. So we were stressing and stressing and stressing. So we barely had any time to make friends and barely had any time to enjoy the competition, kind of.
But cool thing is, like, half people that were there, we already met them from other competitions. That was a really cool part. Like, some of them from Gamers 8, from one, them from Spain. Like, it was really cool. It was really cool.
So the positive part was that we already knew a lot of the competitors. So
it was easier.
So it was easier because of that. But we had so much pressure on ourselves because we didn't have the costumes tested, let's say. Because the reality of a cosplay is that when you really know that the costume is complete is when you use it on stage and you see where it fails.
Yeah.
Because then after you see where it fails for the first time, you fix where it fails, and then after that it is completed, because now it's stable. It's a stable costume that will endure being on stage without failing.
Even, let me just add a point to that. Like, even when you try your costume at home and you practice your skit at home with a costume, like I'm telling you, our final practice in Japan with the costume, it was perfect. Like, there was not a flaw. Even when you do that, sometimes it's not enough to 100% test your costume. Like, you have to go, because when you go on stage for your final performance, that's when you give 110% of yourself.
When you go all out,
rather than 100%. And that can be the difference between like a piece detaching or something breaking, or like, you know. And so, because we used Rani and Glide for other competitions before, we knew what the weak points were. So we were able to go to Saudi Arabia with Rani and Glide completely like 100%
comfortable.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it's comfortable.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Japan, not really. Like, in Japan, even though our final performance with the problematic parts of the costume, not final performance, sorry, final rehearsal with the problematic parts of the costume went beautifully well, perfectly. In the final performance, it went wrong. Like, and it's, you know, again, like, that's why I don't recommend people to con crunch all that much, because if you're going to finish a costume 5 minutes before going to the airport, or give it like a day before going to the airport, you're probably gonna have issues. You're most likely gonna have issues. We had a ton of issues.
We had a ton.
So, like, do your costume with time, prepare yourself with time, and when you're done with it, dress your costume, and don't just walk around the house, like literally fall on the floor, jump, just twirl, do everything for like an hour maybe, as uncomfortable as it may seem, because that is the only way that you can find the flaws, like the tiny flaws in your costume, and fix that before the final competition.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. And that takes us to another point, which is sometimes people make a costume for a preliminary just to be enough to win for Japan, and then I'll do something better for Japan. No, like, try to already prepare something for the preliminary that you know 100% that that's what you want to use in the finals in Japan. Even if you don't win, like, do the costume that you would do for Japan. Like, don't be doing something then
Just
you're
for
not
the
100%.
preliminaries.
Yeah, no. And as much as I love the challenge of making a new costume, that is definitely something we learned, and that we will be applying for future competitions, is whenever we had the chance to take the same costume, we will. Yeah. Unless we have, like, I don't know, 2.5 years to make a costume, we can make a new one. But no, the difference, again, between Gamers 8 and WCS in Japan, that big difference was not only just because of that, but mainly because of that. Because in Gamers 8, we had the costumes ready and we were able to enjoy ourselves. And in Japan, we were with too much stress and pressure and anxiety on top, because we were like still fixing parts of our costume, actually, every night.
Every night we had to, we had to go back, fix a few parts of the costume, etc.
Yeah. But you still brought tools with you, actually, to repair and to fortify the cosplay.
I went all out. Like, I brought tiny jars of silicone and a scale to measure the silicone, little sticks to mix silicone paint. I just had a bunch of things of silicone in our suitcase for repairs. I never did that in my entire life.
Okay.
So this brings us to another strategy. Always have an SOS kit.
Every time.
Always bring with you, even if you think you're not gonna need it.
You're gonna need it.
Bring with you a glue gun. Bring with you
glue gun, cement, contact cement, super glue, like instant glue, thread and needles, clasps, pins, everything. Everything. If your costume's made out of silicone, take silicone. You don't know, you might need it. If you have
maybe some bits of EVA.
Yeah, even like
everything, because you don't know, an accident might happen, and you might need to fix something, and you will have everything with you.
Yeah, electronics, take a soldering iron, things like that. Yeah.
That brings me to another thing that was really cool about, that usually is really cool about being backstage, is that people, I don't know if it's like this, or perhaps it is like this usually everywhere, but preliminaries seem to be more intense backstage because people really want to travel outside and be able to experience.
They want to win.
They want to win because they want to experience the chance to go and represent their countries outside, out there internationally. But then when you're in an international competition, everyone is just excited to be there.
Yeah.
They are not so competitive anymore. They're just excited, and so everyone is really happy. Everyone is super excited to share their stories and their techniques, and they want to know about your cosplay. They want to know about you. You want to know about them, and that is really exciting, and that is really cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So that's cool.
That will lead us to another question. You won, as you said, the best costume at Gamers 8 in 2023. Maybe because you really talked well about your costume. Can you tell us what helped you win that prize? If there was like a tip that you can give about how did you win? I know that you were not waiting for that, but how did you win it?
It was a miracle.
No, it wasn't a miracle. Of course not. We worked really hard, and of course.
It's so different than everyone else. I think like hard work. Yes, I mean, of course, you have to work hard. Obviously, like when you're making your costume, you need to be careful. Like you need to do things carefully because a good technique, a good not developed, but a good
well-developed cosplay?
No, that's not what I mean. But a well-made technique, is very important. Even if it's just sewing, for example, you need to make sure that you have like you don't have like jumped stitches. You don't have everything stitched like together in a very messy way. Like you need to make sure that the techniques are well presented. But I wouldn't say we had a specific strategy, to win, because again, we were not expecting to win. But my biggest advice, and you can either agree or add to that, is prepare yourself for the prejudging really well. Like make sure you're going to talk about everything in your costume, and you give a lot of importance to like the more difficult techniques. I wouldn't say more difficult, but like the more complex ones, like because the judges, we've judged before, and what we like to see is people explaining to us how they did parts of the costume that at first glance you have no idea how that was done, and try, I don't know, like just and speak with passion about your costume, obviously, because I mean, if you're not there for love out of your costume, it's not really worth it. Obviously. I think you need to really love your creation, and like prepare yourself for prejudging when making your costume. Try to make it as clean as possible, and obviously for competitions that value reference in terms of this character has to look exactly like the reference, take that letter, like seriously. Because for example, we sometimes have like side-by-side photos between our final piece and the reference, and they're exactly the same, like as the same as I can possibly be, considering it's a video game. But so I don't know, like, do you have any? I do
actually.
Okay.
So basically, adding a little bit more to what she said, is very important that you feel proud of your cosplay, because that shows. So because as she said, we already been judges before, and when someone is really, really proud of what they made, you can see it in the way they talk about it. You can feel it in the way it was made. And even if they're new and their technique is not so good, you can see this person has potential. You know what I mean? Give it some time, and they will get better, and they will probably win something in the future. If it's someone that is just, rushing things, you won't get so excited about their cosplay, perhaps. You know what I mean? Because if they are not excited about their cosplay, how can they make you excited about their cosplay? You know what I mean?
Yes.
So make something that you're really, really proud of, that you gave everything, that you didn't leave anything to chance. So that even if it's something that is not going to be seen, you know that maybe I should do something in here that I'm 100% sure that it won't rip, it won't break. So let me paint it at least the basic color here, just in case that maybe if something lifts, it's not completely unpainted or something like that. Just don't leave anything to chance. Be very proud of your creation. If you look at it, if you look at a part of your cosplay that you're making and you don't like it, it's okay to start over and do it again until you like it. Sometimes we do that. Sometimes we have to do 2 or 3 times the same part of the cosplay because the first two or three times we didn't like the end result. And then when we finally like it and we're proud of it, we're like, okay, this is done. And then at the end, we look at the end result and we're, yes, this is what we wanted. We're 100% proud. And then that shows when you go to talk about it to the judges.
I will ask you another questions, and I think these questions you're very sensitive to it, and I'll be very direct. How did you manage to transport your cosplay to Japan with all the stuff that inside and all the props without causing any damage?
It's never easy.
It's never easy, but actually the cosplay for Japan was easier to transport than the one for Saudi Arabia. Because the one in Saudi Arabia, we had Blight Sword and Rani's hat, which were absolutely huge. So Blight Sword cannot be dismounted and neither can Rani's hat.
So how did you do that then? So how did you do that then? Let's talk about the challenging transportation then. The one for Gamers 8.
For Gamers 8, so we could not actually find the box as big as we needed, so we made our own boxes. Like, we got a lot of cardboard, and we made our own boxes like by taping cardboard together.
We taped a lot of
so much cardboard and
tape
and
everywhere.
Then we wrapped all pieces in a lot of
what's
like the bubbly thing.
Yeah, the bubbly stuff, the protection paper, I called it, like the bubbly paper. Yes.
Bubbles. Yeah.
Bubble wrap.
The bubble wrap.
We did a lot of bubble wrap around, and then we put it inside of the box, and then we went to the airport, and thankfully the company we were going through was Emirates, so they accepted like weird format stuff.
Yeah.
We had to check that beforehand because every airline
has their rules.
So we were very lucky to go through Emirates because of that, but if we didn't, it would have been a lot more complicated, and I'm not sure how that would have gone. But for Japan, when we made our stage props, we did them detachable, so we could put everything in a suitcase. So we took like 3 or 4 suitcases, I think, with the costume inside and the stage props, because we made everything detachable, and because his costume was all silicone. Silicone is very bendable.
Flexible. Yeah.
So that was fine, and my costume was pretty much sewing. So.
Also very flexible.
For Japan, that was not too hard. For Saudi Arabia, we had to...
For Saudi Arabia, we had almost 180 meters long sword.
Yeah,
so very complicated, and she had the 2-meter wide hat.
In pretty good condition.
It arrived in pretty good condition. We were very lucky. There were a few cosplayers that had damages. There were a few cosplayers that...
really?
Their things didn't arrive they arrived on time, but they didn't arrive
on their flight
at the same day that they arrived.
Yeah, which caused
so they were nervous, of course.
But I guess, try to make things as detachable as possible. And when that's not possible, well, you're going to have to take it as a full piece, and you're going to have to speak with if you win, you have to speak with the airline, see what your options are. Use a lot of bubble wrap, so much bubble wrap,
and then obviously the ultimate step is to pray that everything arrived undamaged.
Yeah, you spend like the whole time inside the airplane thinking like, I hope things are okay down there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
And I think that, I don't know, maybe in Saudi Arabia, I think they were a bit lenient. They knew that a lot of people were coming from different countries, and they were bringing a lot of big things. And since a lot of people had damages because of that, I think they kind of excused everyone. So they didn't.
Yeah, but don't
maybe taking into consideration some damages on the props.
I think they might have
a little bit.
And
okay.
I think they did.
cool, but that's not the normal.
But that's
Like,
not usual.
in Japan, I don't think that's gonna happen.
This is one of the biggest achievements you have when you go into international events, is like meeting international people that you can like create some links with it, and they can like help you, and they can also offer you some advice. And I know that for you, NYMESIA, you offer some advice in your Instagram. I've seen some videos of you helping people on how to create some props, how to create some masks, and this is amazing. We know a lot of Moroccan cosplayers do that too. They really want to show people how to cosplay, and learning some secret technique, as you said, like you meet that mysterious cosplayers from an unknown country who's creating some incredible technique to stick a wig in a certain way that even if it's a big wig, it doesn't fall or something like that.
Yeah, we're always on the on the lookout, not on the lookout, but we're always very excited to hear what people have to teach us, and us teaching them what we know, like, because we don't know everything. Other people don't know everything. Nobody knows everything. So it's a constant learning process. And I think cosplay is one of the things in life that really allows us to constantly learn. It's because you never stop learning, you never stop developing techniques, and something new comes up, or something that's so obvious that's been going on for years, but you never thought about applying it that way. So I think cosplay, it's a beautiful way to learn new things. I love that. I love cosplay for that.
It's part of the creative mindset, I think. It's like you put a lot of creative people in the same spot, and they're going to talk about all these creative things, and they're going to, a lot of people talking about creative things are going to come up with a lot of new ideas too. And so it's really cool.
What advice would you give to the Moroccan participants on the qualifiers, and like people who will be part of this experience, and how to maybe behave, or maybe how to deal with stress? And you're talking about not winning, but there are many things that they need to take into account.
Sir?
Yeah, sure, I can start. Well, so first of all, I think so about the experience, right? Be ready to fail. It happens. Failing is part of it. So the show must go on, as we usually say here, and as we usually also started saying, is if a prop fails on stage, or if your wig falls, or something breaks on stage, it doesn't matter. The show goes on. Don't stop. Keep doing your skit as if nothing happened wrong. Just go to and do it until the end, and it's okay. Cut your losses, that's it. It happens to almost everyone at any point of their cosplay career. Something will happen wrong. It's completely normal. Just have that mentality that things will probably happen, and when they happen, just accept them, deal with them in the best way possible. It's something that is universal. Everyone goes through that. Of course, sometimes it's frustrating. Other times it's easier to take them to heart. So try to have a mentality of, I'm here to mostly learn and have fun. If you're someone that is very competitive, it's okay that you're very competitive. It's okay that you want to win. There's nothing wrong with wanting to win, but don't make winning this entire reason why you're doing cosplay. Because then if you lose, you might want to give up of cosplay. Just try to of course you've worked really hard, you dedicated money, hours, you went through so many hardships to complete a costume. Of course you want to be seen and you want to be recognized, of course, but try to have fun with it as well. And enjoy the backstage. Backstage is really stressful, but it can become addictive.
In a good way.
In a good way. It's a really interesting feeling of being on backstage. I prefer being on backstage as a participant than being, for instance, a judge. Those are two different experiences. I prefer, for instance, being on backstage. It's a lot more fun. despite all of the chaos and everything. The chaos is part of it, and it grows on you. So learn to enjoy all of that, and I think it grows on you, and you will learn a lot with that. And what you don't know on your first time, you will surely bring it with you to your second time, and you'll be better and improved. And I will use some examples of ourselves. Our first time that we participated, we had a skit with no props because we created a skit in like half an hour.
About the other day,
Yeah.
Tiny tail.
We had the tiny tails. That's it. It was just a tiny tail prop, and that's it. And it was just us moving on stage and interacting with the screen. So they told us, "Oh, your costumes are really cool. You guys are doing a great job. But for the skit, you need to have something, and you need to have more." And we were like, "Okay, we need to have more. Understood. Okay, next time we'll have more." So next time we had more, and then we didn't interact with all of the props that we had on stage. So they were like, "Okay,
you had more.
You heard us. We like that you heard us. That's good. You're learning. But this time you guys had more. You had too much."
Too much, okay.
You had too much this time. And we were like, "Oh, come on. Are you serious?" And they were like, "You had too much in the sense that you had things on stage that were not being used. They were there just to be there. And if you go to any competition and you put the prop there and you don't interact to it, the prop doesn't serve a purpose, they will discount some points."
Or not add in
or
this
not
game.
add points.
Because why is it there?
Yeah, it doesn't. It's
just
not
relevant.
It's not relevant for anything. So there you go. So we learned with that. Next, we moved forward. Again, we did it. Oh, we managed to get our first place. See, so
Long story short, just use the reasons why you failed, if you fail, to improve for next time, and keep in mind that it's a constant learning curve.
Yeah.
So, lesson here is, it's not a failure, it's a learning experience.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not a failure, it's just a learning experience.
Yep. That's amazing.
Now that you gave the
advice.
The advice, I was gonna say like the emotional advice, but it's not really emotional, like the mindset advice. I'm gonna give you another type of advice, so not to repeat myself, but because I do agree with everything he said, but now I'm gonna give you another type of advice. Sleep the night before.
Very important. Be well slept.
Eat
well slept
before you get a costume.
Yes.
Because you need to have energy. You need to be there. It's going to require a lot of concentration. It's going to require a lot of physical endurance.
That's true.
Take an SOS kit, as we spoke before. Don't leave anything to chance. Like you can even take like tiny tubes of paint and a brush if you need it. Like just take everything you think you might need in your costume. Prepare yourself beforehand for the pre-judging. Get a phone, like your phone or a watch, whatever, and like if you're gonna have 10 minutes in this case, make a timer for 10 minutes and speak, like as if you and your duo, or just yourself and your duo can do the same thing. You guys just speak like for the air or to the mirror, just do everything and then see how long you took, or if you went over the clock. If you went over the clock, do it all over again and again and again until you don't. Because if you're gonna go over the clock in the actual prejudging, they're gonna stop you there. If you forgot to talk about this part or this part or this part, forget it. You're not gonna have time to talk about it, and that can
impact.
Maybe points that you could have earned because of a specific technique or whatever. You're not gonna get those points because you did not get to talk about it. So preparation is key to have a good performance, and also practice your skit as many times as possible before your competition.
Important. We almost forgot about that. Practice your skit.
Don't just practice on the day. Practice as much as you can. And even when you practice your skit, a lot of times it can still go wrong. And if it does, it's okay. All right. Why did it go wrong? Next time you won't. For example, us for Japan, we practiced our skit so many times.
We practiced
it was our practiced skit, and it was the one that went the wrongest, like the most wrong in our entire like cosplay career. So, you know, like
It happens.
It happens. It's okay, but like I'm not saying that you shouldn't practice your skit because it's gonna go better. No, like practice your skit, okay? But if it goes wrong, like it's okay. It's okay. Just it will be a learning lesson again for next time. But yes, preparation is key. Make sure you go prepared because everything is gonna be like this on the day. Everything's super
Yeah,
fast.
it goes so fast.
Yeah, you close your eyes when you open them. It's done.
Also, you're gonna be very nervous before going on stage. As soon as you start, you will forget everything about nerves, and then, oh, it's done.
Yeah, and then when
That's
you're
it.
on the stage, you're gonna be like, I wanna go again.
I want to go again. That was so much fun.
If you're nervous, it's normal. That's super normal. My first time on stage, my muscle here in the jaw would involuntarily shake.
Oh yeah, she would shake so much.
Yeah, on my first time because I was so nervous. So I used masks also, like not because specifically because of that, but every time I was wearing a cosplay with a mask, I was like, thank God, because they cannot see my jaw moving like crazy right now. That's over now. That doesn't happen anymore. But if you're nervous, it's okay.
It's, everyone will be. It's part of it.
Just breathe and just have fun. Just
Perfect.
have lots of fun.
Yes.
On stage and have lots of fun.
Yes, you were talking about people going on stage and like forgetting everything. I was gonna say, that's good that the video is like a maximum 2 minutes 13 and it's stop and you know it's the end at the end of the video, so you're like relieved that everything has ended.
Yeah, it happens so fast. It looks like it was just 10 seconds.
Yeah.
After you're done, it's like, whoa.
2 minutes and
it's
a half.
done already?
is
Wow, that was so fast.
Yeah.
Perfect,
2 minutes
perfect.
and
Yeah. Thank you again very much for your time. Thank you for everything. Say hi to the cats, and it was really a pleasure interviewing you. Your answers are so precious to me, so precious to all the Moroccan cosplayers. Thank you, everything.
Thank you.
And have a great day, great weekend, and let's stay in contact. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Thank you so much for inviting us. Thank you. And keep up the amazing job.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I will be on the lookout to see all the participations. I'm very curious.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. I think a lot will appreciate that, and your inputs in some videos that we will publish later will really interest some cosplayers. Thank you. Thank you again very much. Have a good weekend, and bye bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.